Good morning, equity guys. Welcome to equity guys pre-market video. I am Manjunath, an NISM technical analyst. Let's discuss what's happened yesterday in the market. So, being on Tuesday, weekly expiry, Nifty saw some correction of 71 points. Nifty Bank 74 points positive. Sensex 376 points negative. So, two mother indices closed in negative. So, data is little bearish. Nifty Bank closed positive. That's good sign. Then India volatility index, if it is positive, then you can call it as okay, some fear had been created in the market, so the market may go for bearish consolidation. So yesterday it is 0.05% negative. So it is very, very minute. So I will call data as very, very neutral. Then crude oil January future, if you see is 5,208, that is lesser than the pre-COVID standards, that is 6,500. So data is bullish. Then you can see Nifty B's, there is your neutral correction, or you can say it is open to close. Then Bank B's is performed well yesterday, Gold B's, but Silver B's is on the first place with 6 points above its opening price. So the Silver base is super bullish. Now let's go to Nifty 50 in specific. So Nifty 50, what happened yesterday? So you can see there is a gap down. Then it tried to fill that gap. Then it went to yesterday's levels, yesterday closing levels. But due to the inverted hammer or the some profit booking from there, so the market had crossed it below 26,200. It consolidated below 26,200 and it was a weekly expiry. So you can see some consolidation at the end of the day as bearish consolidation. Okay. So in the day time frame, it created a doji. It created a doji, which is very, very important for the day. So I will call the data is still bullish because it's creating higher high formation and the candle is doji, so it's an indecision candle. With that one, let's go to sectoral wise data. Nifty IT is positive, Nifty Bank is positive, Nifty Infrastructure is negative, auto sector is positive, metal sector is positive. So around four sectors are neutral to positive, but one sector is negative. So I will call data is neutral to bullish. Advanced decline ratio, you can see the decline is more side, no, more numbers, so the data is bearish. Nifty 50, 31 companies positive, data bullish. Nifty Bank, 6 companies positive, 8 companies negative, data is bearish. Nifty 50 is performing well with major sectors performing well on the bullish side. Let's go to option chain. Option chain, you have to select the next week expiry of 13 January 2026, Nifty 50, weekly expiry. In the money call option is by selling, out of the money call option is selling. So call sellers. In the money put option is buying, out of the money put option is also selling. So you can see it's bearish consolidation. The market is in bearish consolidation zone. Data is a PCI ratio suggesting us, okay, it's a zero point 0.7 data. Okay, so PCI ratio is neutral. Now let's go to support and resistance as per option chain. You can see 26,300, 26,200 is a strong resistance zone. At the same time, 26,100 is a strong support zone. Okay, so 26,100 or you can call it 26,000, which is psychological number. 26,000 will act as strong support zone. Let's go to FIDA activity. In cash market, FIIs are selling of 107 crores, DIs are buying 1,749 crores. So overall net position is DIs are buying, FIIs are selling, but in F&O segment, index futures, FIIs are buying. Overall, in stock futures also, you can see some profit booking, but the amount they are started to invest is huge compared to previous 3-4 days. So I will call the data is little bullish side only. So in cash market also you can see FIS important. That is also important. See FIS investment. So it's compared to 3-4 days or in this year 2026 from after three trading days, fourth day they had invested in huge quantities. So data is bullish. Let's go to US futures. US 30 is positive, US Tech 500 positive, US Tech 100 positive. So neutral to bullish data. Whereas in cash market yesterday it performed well in Dow Jones for positive, S&P 500 positive, Nasdaq is also closer positive. So three indices from US he is positive. Let's go to European market. European market DAX is positive, FTSE 100 is positive, CAC 40 is also positive. So European market had also performed well. Now let's go to Nikkei. Nikkei Asian market. Nikkei is, see, you can see it was doing higher high formation gap ups from last 2 to 3 days. So now it's just trying to fill that gap. So it's we can call it as price correction. Hang Seng yesterday closed positive in 1.38%, and Kospi currently it's running at positive rate. So data is super bullish. Now let's go to ADRs. ADRs, Infosys ADR there is buying, but HDFC there is some profit booking. ICICI Bank, the ADR there is a demand. Wipro ADR there is a demand, and Dr. Reddy's Lab there is a demand. So four companies which we look out from ADR point of view are looking bullish. Data is, you can call it bullish. Okay, now let's go to derivative market of Indian stock market. First, let's go to Nifty January future comparing with Nifty 50. If you compare Nifty January future with Nifty 50, yes, there is a demand in Nifty January future. So derivative markets, there is a demand, bullishness. Bank Nifty, if you compare with Nifty Bank, mother indices, Nifty Bank Nifty January future is also running at premium price of 60,320, which is higher than 200 points above mother indices. So data is bullish. Gift Nifty, if you compare Gift Nifty now, okay, Gift Nifty is suggesting, Gift Nifty compared with Nifty January future, it's suggesting some 60 points of gap down. 60 points of gap down. So the data might look like, okay, the data might look like gap down. So based on that one, let's have a plan for the day. First we have to mark support and resistance. That is 26,274 is first resistance. That is yesterday's high. 26,373. That is second resistance. That is all-time high also. So 26,373. Then come to support side. 26,124. 25,969, then 25,879 is our first, second, and third support zone. So the support zones are too far. So you mark multiples of 100, which are very, very important. Now, based on that one, now let's have a plan for the day. First investment point of view. Investment point of view, still market is in overbought zone, so you might see some profit booking in the market. So don't start investing. It is not a good idea to invest. We are not SEBI registered, so please consult your certified trainers or certified financial advisors. Now, intraday point of view, my view is still on buy on dip until this S1 is taken down. Until S1 is taken down, my data is still bullish. So 26,100 will act as strong support zone. From there, the market may go still on buyer side. So you can see higher high formation in trend. Okay, you can see higher high formations. So I will say my view is the data is buy and dip until S1 is taken down. If S1 is taken down or the gap down happened in the market and first 15 minutes low is taken down, then you can see the market will take support around 26,000. Okay, 26,000 price level. So until that time, okay, S1 is very, very important zone. Our first 15 minutes low breakdown is very, very important to call it sell on rise until the otherwise it will be buy and dip market. So this is my view, not my setup. Okay, I will trade my setups. So follow your setups in very proper manner and trade it. Make good profit. Thank you. All the best.